Hey there, fellow YouTubers. Frank Bush here. Just thought I'd show you the little Fancy Feast alcohol stove that I made. So there's tutorials on the YouTube and that how to make these things, but in essence, all it is a Fancy Feast can for the outside can. And the lid's been taken off, cat food removed, if you will. And then for the can that goes inside here, that can is a tomato paste can. You can still vaguely see some of the symbols on there. I've used the stove a few times now, so it's kind of been burnt in. But in essence, it's one of those little 5.5 ounce tomato paste cans you buy in the grocery store. Cut about probably a third of the can off of the bottom, and it was just hollowed. Both sides had the lids removed and the bottom taken off, like I say, about a third or so. Then that way there's about an inch and a half or so that's stuck above the Fancy Feast can, and the can just simply slides one into the other. There's little holes, I don't know if you can see that, but there's little holes that are set into the can. I just drilled some holes on this side and this side. And what that allows is when you put a pot down on top of it, the vapor doesn't build up inside the container. It gives the alcohol vapor a way to escape so that it doesn't force the alcohol to kind of spew over the sides. So, and then down in the bottom of the can, there's some holes down in the bottom as well that allow, when you pour the alcohol into the centerpiece here, on the in between, it's hard to see because it's pitch black in color, but in between the tomato paste can and the Fancy Feast can, there's some carbon fiber I've got a little strip of that goes all the way around the can. And what that does is act like a wick. So when you pour the alcohol into the middle, it goes through the little holes down at the bottom and wicks up through the carbon fiber and allows it to kind of act almost as a candle with the alcohol. So when you put the pot on top, the fire isn't as much in the center as it is coming up around the outsides of the pot, and that in essence allows you to have, like I say, a little alcohol stuff. So I've tested this a few times. It seems that with 2 cups of water, I can use 1 ounce of 99% isopropanol rubbing alcohol and bring that water to a boil. So in the video that I'm going to kind of connect with this, I'm going to do a test with 4 cups of water and see if I can successfully get that to come to a boil. I have tried to build these with a tuna fish can and a condensed milk can as well. I found that that seemed to work okay, but it definitely consumed a fair bit more fuel just to soak into the wick and that type of thing. So if you're curious to where I got that carbon fiber wick, just as a side note, it has a melting temperature. That carbon fiber has a melting temperature of, I believe it's 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit. So it allows it to kind of wick the alcohol up without actually melting it. I thought about using fiberglass, but from what I understand it to be, these little alcohol stoves will get hot enough where if you use fiberglass inside there, potentially the stove makes the fiberglass too hot and actually melts, and if it forms like kind of a crusty top, it'll inhibit the alcohol from being able to wick up through as smoothly. But needless to say, that carbon fiber that I have set in there, I bought that at Home Depot, managed to get it. They sell little 9-inch by 12-inch, they call them fire protectors. You find it in the plumbing section, where when plumbers are going to solder copper pipes and those types of things, but it's really close to a wall, they'll put up a little kind of black sheet of protector to stop the wall from potentially getting burned or whatever. Well, that material is ideal to use as my wicking material in here, and it seems to be doing a great job. So like I say, I'll connect this to the video of actually doing a test with my bush pot and that type of thing, just to see. I'm curious. Like I say, the 2 cups was not a problem to bring to a boil. It took about 6 minutes. I'm expecting that to bring 4 cups to a boil would take 7 or 8 minutes potentially, and I'm really curious to, if I use 2 ounces of isopropanol, if that would be enough to do it, or if it starts to become that this little stove has a hard time putting out enough heat to actually boil that volume of water. So we'll find out in the test. Cheers. Hi there, fellow YouTubers. Frank Bush here again. Just thought I'd show you the little Fancy Feast alcohol stove that I built. You can go online and see all sorts of plans for that. I'm just going to do a little test with, I've measured out 4 cups of water, in my bush pot. And I'm just going to see if I can bring that to a boil off the Fancy Feast container. So I'll just spark it up here. See if I can get it going. Just 2 seconds. So I just lit the actual stove up. I've put about 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces. I know a lot of people have done tests when it comes to this thing, when it comes to 2 cups of water. I just wanted to see if I could burn a kind of larger amount of water into the mix. So as you can see, the stove's going now. I'll just put my pot on top. And so as you can see, the alcohol stove seems to fully inundate the pot. And it's burning a little yellow more than I'd like it to, but like I say, this was part of the test, was just to see how smoothly and quickly I could get this all up to a boil. So, like I say, most of the experiments I've seen, people have done 2 cups of water. So I just wanted to kind of take it up to the next level. Yeah, it's starting to burn a little cleaner now, but I just wanted to take it up to the next level and see if I could do all 4 cups of water, how long that would take roughly, you know, how efficiently it would do it, if it would bring it to a boil given the size of the stove. I've also tried to build the same kind of stove, and where I'm using a tuna fish can and a condensed milk container, which makes it a little larger in size, but so needless to say, I'm just going to kind of let this record. I'll give it a pause because there's no sense in just watching the pot boil for the next 5 minutes. But okay, so I'm back again after the kind of pause of the video. It's been boiling for about been on for about maybe 6 or 7 minutes now. I should have timed it, I guess, but as you can see, that's the pot's at a kind of simmering boil at this point in time. I'm sure if I let this go for another minute or two, that it would hit a full boil. One of the things I've realized with these alcohol stoves is it's absolutely critical that we have some sort of wind stop or windshield to stop the flame from kind of getting blown and breezed around. And it's that'll be one of the next projects, I guess. But like I say, to me the critical part about this test was, can I even use this to boil off 4 cups of water, or is it just simply a little 2-cup cooker? But as I can see from my test, I can see full boil. I don't know if you can see that well, but there's definitely bubbles boiling fully in the pot. I put about, like I say, 2 ounces of fuel into the little can burner, and it's been going for, I don't know, probably getting close to 7 minutes now. Definitely a little longer to do all 4 cups than it was 2. I've done tests with the 2 before that seemed to take about 6 minutes or so. I'm sure if I added on a windscreen that would probably help accelerate it as well. But all in all, to me, this little experiment has been a full success. Like I say, it was, to me, able to bring up to, as you can see, the bubbles. I was able to bring up 4 cups of water to a boil. I just didn't think that this little stove would actually be able to do that level of volume, but it seemed successful. So hopefully I'll do off a little bit better video next time with the windscreen and that kind of thing, and do proper timing. Other than that, I think we're in good state. But I'll leave it here at that point in time. Like I say, the fuel's just dying off now, so I consider that a success. Yeah, it's out now. So the flame altogether seemed to last about 10 minutes, maybe 11 minutes or so. Either way, successfully able to give me the hot water that I needed. So there you have it. Cheers, thank you.